Welcome to another In Wheel Time podcast, a 30-minute mini version of the In Wheel Time car show that airs live every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central. Celebrating 10 years of award-winning car talk, this is the In Wheel Time car show. Coming up, Konrad will have the car clinic. We'll have this week's auto news. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars, King Konrad DeLong. We need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad that you could join us on this Saturday.
Donnie Boone.
Donnie Boone.
Yes.
Donnie Boone was a man.
And his brother, Pat Boone.
With my white patent leather shoes.
And they started a family organization, and they lived on Boone's farm.
Annie and cousin Annie Greensprings.
There you go. Ellie Mae and all that. Oh, we saw a Max Bear lookalike last night at the restaurant.
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah, from the side, the guy looked just like Max Bear.
Max Bear was Jethro.
Jethro.
Yeah.
Jethro.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It was very comical last night.
I bet it was.
It was a comical.
Was there
kind of
alcohol
evening.
involved?
There was.
A little bit. A little bit.
A little bit.
There was some
There
alcohol.
was, and a little bit.
I didn't say how much. He said how much. I just said it was comical. That's all I said.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Typical.
So you heard Chevrolet is now released the information on the new Z06.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I have the story.
That's why I figure I'd lead into it. I see what you're thinking, Don. I was giving you the toss.
Well, you know, you and I do have the same birthday, so we do have that kind of mental telepathy
that's right.
not going on.
Yeah. And our server has a birthday near your birthdays. You found that out last night?
Yeah, but she's not a Sagittarian like Konrad and I are.
Oh, okay.
No, she's of
I've
another ilk.
I don't think
I've never followed the Zodiac
I
stuff.
don't think she even has
You
a boy.
haven't? Neither have I, but I do know that I am a Sagittarian. Matter of fact, I've got a big sticker from the back of my car that I'm going to put on there called Sagittarian or Sagittarius.
I don't even think she's got a boyfriend, so it doesn't matter.
Do you put that in your Grinder profile?
My
Hi, I'm a Sagittarius.
I'm a Sagittarius. Yes, my grinder. I'm not exactly sure
I'm half
What is
human
that?
and half
what
animal.
what is grinder before I have to
It's a
look up.
dating profile.
Oh, I thought it was a coffee.
Yeah, but what kind of?
It's a dating profile.
Yeah, no, I
How
don't
do you know
trust
all this,
you.
Conrad?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm
we're not
married.
doing
I don't know
about it.
anything.
Yeah, you probably know
Been
more
married
about
for
that than
30
I do.
He tried to get me in
35
trouble.
years, 36
Just a
years
moment.
this year.
Tried to
Let me
get me-
Google this, and I'll find out.
But
here in
let's
just a
talk
second.
about the Corvette.
No,
Yeah,
no,
while,
no. You
while
tried
you
to get
talk
me in
about the
trouble.
Corvette, I'm going to look up grinder.
Tried to get me in trouble with my wife this morning, so I'm throwing it back on you.
This is
Knucklehead.
perfect. This
So-
is absolutely perfect.
So on the 26th, Chevrolet announced the 2023 Corvette Z06. Pretty remarkable car, but the most remarkable thing is the engine. It's a 5.5-liter flat plane crankshaft engine that sounds like a sewing.
He just found Grinder. Oh, no.
Sounds like a sewing machine. And
We're ready. Got her.
Oh, we got all
right,
kinds
we
of
got
things.
her.
Well, she's just going to have to hold on because we've got some business to attend to here.
No, Don. Let's take care of the guest first. We can get
No,
to that
let's
later.
not.
I don't want to see
Let's
your
see. They've got
grinder thing.
grinders at Lowe's.
Yeah, I think it's a difference.
Yeah, there's a huge difference because it says here, the first thing up, it says, is that grinder for men or grinder for women? Red flag.
Oh, boy.
Exactly.
A left-handed runner.
This is
or
the
right-handed
R-rated version of the show, so
dear Lord.
little
All right,
children
all
in the room.
Let's go to the Texas Mile.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Jessica.
Hi.
Hi there. How are you this
Hi.
morning?
Good morning. I hope you guys can hear me.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Hope you can hear us.
Yeah. So how are things out at the Texas Mile?
Well, first of all, before we go to that, why don't we learn what the Texas Mile is for those people that don't know?
Okay.
So why don't you explain to us what the Texas Mile is?
Yeah, definitely. So the Texas Mile is a 1 mile top speed event. So our participants come out and they start from a standing start and get their top speed in 1 mile. We also have a half mile track. And then they have a half a mile to shut down. So that's the challenge.
Okay. So it's a top speed event from a standing start. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right.
Yep.
And I assume that the track is longer than a mile, so you have some place to shut down after you get across the mile marker.
Yeah, so there's actually half a mile shut down, and you've got to stop before then because you got to make a right turn.
Yeah, and if you don't make the right turn, you go out into the cornfield or something. Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm sure that you heard of the tragedy that happened at an event similar to this. That it was, I guess, a mile or a half-mile course of a top-speed event. And apparently, at this particular event, they allowed the fans, the observers, to walk up next to the track after the end of the actual mile or half mile, whatever it was, and the car went out of control and killed several people and injured many more. And I assume that you have safety measures in place to prevent that.
Yeah, definitely. Our top priority is always safety for both our drivers and our fans. So we have concrete barriers that block the most where the fans can actually be the closest to the track. There are concrete barriers. But there's typically a huge center piece of grass between where the fans are actually watching and the racers are going. So the closest place is at the start line. But again, we have barriers at the start line so that fans are protected if anything was to happen. So safety is always our number one concern. We have top rate fire people and ambulance services on site. And we also have PHI, which is a helicopter company that does medical flights, and they like to come out and hang out at our event while we do our events. And so safety is always number one for us.
Okay, so let's talk about the cars that are entered into the event. Is it all makes and models?
Yeah. Oh yeah, so this is a run what you brung kind of event. So we have everything from your super modified car to your regular street car. So tons of Corvettes, tons of Mustangs, tons of motorcycles, typically Hayabusas. We have this weekend we actually have a Fiat, so that's been fun and interesting. We have a Trackhawk Jeep that's here. We actually have a couple Jeeps actually. We've got trucks. So it's really, you can bring whatever you have as long as you can pass our safety inspection. You can run whatever you want.
And do you put the cars in certain classes?
Yeah, so we do have a few classes, but mostly our participants will enter two classes. So it's either your street legal automobile or a street legal motorcycle. And those are the main classes that people enter. But if you are like a Bonneville racer, typically, we will also accept those classes if that's what you want to sign up for.
And as the car goes faster, the safety requirements of the car advance with it as well. So, you know, a car that's exceeding 100 miles an hour has to have so much safety equipment. Once you go 130, 150, 200, you've really got to start adding to it.
Yes, that's correct. So we have above 199 miles an hour, you have to have additional safety equipment, including like a roll cage. So definitely as you get to those higher speeds, we want you to be safe. You know, we require a fire suit and, you know, rated helmet. So those things are super important.
And those cars that are going north of 200 miles an hour there, extremely modified, but are generally going to be Porsches, Lamborghinis, the Ford GT. Tell us a couple other of those cars that are going to run the 200 plus.
Yeah, so I actually have our current record holder who went 247 in his Shelby GT500. He's here if he wants to come on in. His name is Van Collier. He's also an event sponsor, and he can kind of tell you about his car. But to just give you an example, it can really be anything. So we do have Camaros and Corvettes that are typically going that fast. We actually have a Regera here this weekend, which is really cool. And they did 216 yesterday.
Wow.
But we also have like a Dodge Neon who has gone 200 miles an hour. So
yeah, a Neon?
Neon.
Yeah, Dodge Neon, yeah.
That'll do.
So I'll let Van kind of talk about his car.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, good morning.
Tell us about your ride.
It's a 2011 Shelby GT500. It's got a 5.4 motor, built by, oh gosh, his name escapes me right now, but John Mahovitz. And it's a twin turbo with twin 88s, runs on methanol. It's got a PPG transmission in it, so it's the sequential dog box. Yeah, it's fast.
So
It run 247, right?
247.
Right, 247. My East Texas is getting to me.
what kind of RPMs are you running as you're going through the speed trap at the top end?
I'm not all the way up the red line, but I'm rapidly approaching it once I get there, and then I'm obviously having to hit the chute and get on the binders to make the turn. I've made the turn at a little over 100. It's wide enough.
A little
But
over
as a
100.
racer, I can tell you, you can make that turn if you set up right for it.
Very
So
good.
how long have you been building this, or excuse me, how long have you been racing this car?
Well, that's actually a pretty funny story, but
It's a great story.
yeah. There's a guy that I used to race against out here, and we were both running supercharged GT 500s, and we beat one another's brains in for the better part of almost 10 years. And one day he just decided that it was time for him to retire, and it was him and his dad, Billy Wagner and Bill Wagner. And Bill called me up one day and just messaged me on Facebook, actually, and he just said, "Hey, I'm looking for somebody to drive my car. Are you interested?" So, yeah, long story short, I ended up I'm now driving a guy that I used to compete against. I'm driving his car.
Oh, okay.
And that's part of the family out here. You know, nobody's disrespecting one another, and you know, we're all trying to help one another to hit those top speeds and have fun and do it safely.
I want to know how fast Jessica's gone.
I did 165 in a Camaro that we used to have. We don't have it anymore, but I did 165.
Respectable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you going to make a pass today?
No, if I had something to drive, I would, but no, not today.
Well, there's a gentleman right next door to you there that might let you drive his.
Maybe.
I'm a little scared to drive that one.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think that's happening.
Yeah. Well, you got a nice variety. I mean, there was a Shelby GT kind of rolled behind you while he was talking about his, and you can see a pretty good lineup behind you. There's one there that looks like it's a rail car, some sort of vehicle without a body. I can't really tell from here. It's right on the other side of that blue Shelby in front of the Corvette.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
It does look like a sand rail that they put street tires on to come out here and run.
That sounds like it's aerodynamically efficient.
Yeah. Well, you said run what you brung, so I guess they took it quite literally.
Yep.
Well,
exactly.
Aerodynamics play a big part. Yeah, aerodynamics play a big part in it when you're going that fast. All of a sudden, you know, it's not always about the downforce. You want to really avoid the lift, and you got to kind of find that balance of downforce, because the downforce also not only keeps you to the ground but also slows you down. So, how do you make those adjustments in your Shelby GT500?
Well, we're constantly doing things with aero to try and go faster. So like on the GT500, the rear deck lid, the rear spoiler, you need a flat plane going right off the back, just like you'd see in drag racing. But the ones that are elevated, like you would see on, say, a GT350R Mustang with that elevated, that's obviously for braking. But out here, we've literally tested two cars going down the track, and that spoiler slowed the car down by 4 miles an hour.
Wow.
Yeah, it creates a tremendous amount of downforce. And another friend of mine's here this weekend, and he's running a Trans Am Boss 302 Mustang. And we had a pretty significant headwind yesterday. And as he was going down the track, he said once he got to the half-mile mark, he could feel the car sitting down, and it just wouldn't go any faster. So
Wow.
it makes a huge difference. Aero is everything in this event.
And then also you've got to have tires that are going to be safe at that. The tires have to be safe at that kind of speed as well. And I would assume that's got to be part of the tech inspection.
I was thinking that too.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we have some strict rules about tires. We actually were just talking about that a few minutes ago. Because, yes, high speed, you definitely have to have specific tires.
Now, not
Right,
only being
so-
a participant, but Jessica said that you're also a sponsor of the event.
Yes, sir.
Do you have a business that's related?
Yes, sir. Reven Racing. It's that's actually one of the ways I got started in this event. I've been coming here now for 13 years. I just had a small business, and I was selling aftermarket performance parts for Mustangs and that type of thing. I still do to a small degree.
Lost them?
No, we can still hear you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
And,
Jessica, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I'm fine. Go right ahead.
So Jessica, where is all this happening again?
Yeah, so we're actually in a small town. It's called Beeville. It's about 3 hours south of Houston. So it's Beeville, Texas. Super small town. This actually used to be an old naval airport, and it's been decommissioned for a really long time. So they allow us to use it, and the city of Beeville has been super gracious to let us be here and continue to have the event. And we bring a lot of money into the community, so they love us around here.
So how long does the event run today and tomorrow?
So today we'll probably go until it gets dark. Honestly, we try to go as long as possible so that everybody can get as many runs as they can in. So maybe about 6 o'clock. And we typically are live either on YouTube or Facebook.
All right. And tomorrow? Are they running tomorrow?
Tomorrow we'll end at 4. Since it's the last day and people are they leave a little bit earlier. So it'll be like 9 to 4.
And if you were kind of give a percentage of how many cars are trailered in and how many people drive their car to run the mile?
So I would say about 75% trailer them in. And then we do have people who will drive the car in and then run it and then drive it home. We used to have a guy actually who would drive in from Canada, drive all the way here in his car and drive it home.
That's crazy.
Yeah. That's got a lot of faith in the car, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you there. That Harley was super loud.
Oh, he's got a lot of confidence in his car to be able to drive it that far and trust that he can drive it all the way home.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. You just never know what's going to happen on the track. So it's pretty brave to drive it all the way here. You just never know.
Yeah, that was very brave.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining us today. We truly appreciate it. And best of luck with your big event down there. And that's the
Thank you so much for having us. We really appreciate it. And we look forward to you guys coming out someday and joining us.
Yes, we're looking forward to that.
Very good. Thanks again. We appreciate it. All right. Time now for Konrad's Car Clinic. What are we talking about today, sir?
Well, we're going to talk a little bit about the world of multi-valve cylinder heads.
Ooh.
You have to think the original 4-valve cylinder head was a Peugeot in 1914, and these guys developed a cylinder head to go racing.
Well, let's back up just a second, because most cars only have 2 valves per cylinder, the intake and the exhaust. Most, generally speaking, have that configuration. They don't have 4 valves per cylinder.
Currently, I think 4 valves per cylinder is much more popular than you think. Yes, 2 valves per cylinder has been the standard
forever.
for years. And then Ford has a 3-valve per cylinder V8, and then the 4-valve per cylinder. But all the way back to 1914 is when they started with the 4 valves per cylinder. And let's face it, the whole society overall is fairly certain that technology advances over time, and as these engines are rolling out of the factories today, they're much more refined and much more reliable power plants at that 4-valve level. Most all of the 4 valves are also going to be dual overhead camshafts. But some people have lost their minds and have gone crazy.
No.
Let's talk about Toyota. Toyota has jumped in with a 5-valve per cylinder engine, the 4AGE 1.6-liter 4-cylinder engine that actually received the cylinder head work was waiting for Jeff to catch up with me.
Yep.
The cylinder head work was done by Yamaha, and they've been using this 5-valve engine since 1991. Audi is also a proponent of the 5-valve cylinder as well. They produced their first ever 5-valve engine in 1988 with a 2.2-liter inline 5-cylinder engine in the Quattro that produced 641 horsepower.
Who gets the extra valve? Intake or exhaust?
Intake
Gets the extra.
Yeah, wait till you see.
Yeah, that's because
5 ain't the end of it.
it's an innie, and then there's an Audi.
That's right, an Audi. Boom, chink. And then, Audi has been selling their 1.8-liter 5-valve cylinder head commercially on 16 different vehicles within the Audi Volkswagen family. Now, Ferrari said, hold my beer. We're going to go a little bit further. They built a production 5-valve head, and they've been selling it for 11 model years now, and that's on the 3.5 and 3.6-liter variants of the Dino V8, making 375 to 400 horsepower on various vehicles, and some as high as 500 horsepower on the 360 Challenge engine. Maserati said, nope, I got more than that. Maserati builds a 6-valve cylinder head, dual overhead camshaft, twin turbocharged that only makes 261 horsepower. And that was way back in the 80s. The center valve of the cylinder head is, let's get to the 6. That's still 5s.
Yep.
The center valves are all at different angles. So, you think about, I have in my past working on vehicles done valve jobs, and you've got to get all of these tools to get all the angles right. I couldn't imagine the machining it takes to do this. Well, we haven't gone far enough yet. So Yamaha Genesis, they make a 7-valve variant of the Genesis engine, and you talk about how complicated that must be. So now you have 4 intakes and 3 exhausts. They've built it, they've tested it. It never really made production, but it goes to show you how crazy they are. The other thing you'll notice is there's 2 spark plugs in there, kind of like your hot rod Hemis with the 2 spark plugs.
Yep.
So how far will it go? I'm not real sure, but I would think the 4-valve has proven itself to be very dependable, and a lot of these 5-valve engines have been around for quite a period of time. So that is, how many valves are in your head?
Well, first of all, why does the valve have to be round?
Airflow. And
it couldn't be elongated. The reason I'm saying that is because couldn't you get the same surface area in a long, kind of a much bigger valve
oval,
and just do 2?
Yeah, but you have to be able to get the valve to shut correctly.
Yeah.
And when your stress and distance to the stem, that stress is the same on something that's round. When you go with something that's oval, you may get a little bend on the flaps on the outside of the oval. You have to remember, Honda actually made an oval piston race engine at one point for their motorcycles, which is super complicated in the machining of it, and they did that to add the extra valves to it as well.
The tolerances too of that, that'd be wow.
I'm trying to imagine the rocker arm and the push rod configuration to run 4 and 6.
It would look like a piano.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
You have stuff going
all different directions
up
and
to the cans.
Let me see that again.
I know, I'm watching too.
Sign language.
Wait a minute.
Wait, Trump got in trouble for doing that.
Oh yeah.
Wait a minute.
Do it again.
Do it again,
Mars.
Mike. Do it again.
Do it again.
Yeah, like that. Just watch that middle finger.
Yeah, they're
There you go.
they're coming up through the heads and
There you go.
But
Is that an innie or an Audi?
4-valve and 5 valves are here. They've played with 6 and they've played with 7. I don't see a reason to do that.
I just play with anything.
Oh, yeah.
I see, it's kind of like,
You bet.
at the F1 level where there is no camshaft in a lot of these anymore. It's all solenoid-controlled valves. So with that, this complication Mike's talking about how the valves are actuated goes away because you just have an electronic solenoid that's opening and closing the valves. That's pretty intense. You talk about technology.
And all of it's going to go away with electric.
That's right.
that's true.
Formula E.
Formula
Okay.
E, and the electric hearse.
Well, that's it for this portion of the In Wheel Time Car Show. Hour number 3
What?
is just ahead.
We all know about aftermarket and online parts stores, and each one has something to offer, but they don't offer original factory parts. That's where Bayway comes in. For original factory parts, visit the Bayway stores first. Give them a call or stop by. Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Bayway Chevy, and Bayway Lincoln carry a complete line of parts for the do-it-yourselfer. Keeping your newer classic original means a lot, and you can count on these fully stocked parts departments to help keep it that way. Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Bayway Chevy, and Bayway Lincoln, keeping it original. Tailpipes and Tacos, Houston's premier monthly cruise-in, will return Saturday, December 18th to the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy. Tailpipes and Tacos wants to thank all of the participants and fans who've enjoyed the collector cars, hot rods, customs, originals, and resto mods, and everything in between. We'll be taking a break for Thanksgiving and Autorama, but we'll be back for a great Christmas cruise-in on December 18th, so make plans now. You know that Tailpipes and Tacos is the Houston area's coolest cruise-in, a place you'll see friends, family, and the finest cruise-in cars in the Houston area. It all happens at the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10. Get your ride ready for a very special Christmas cruise-in, Loopy style. It's Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, December 18th. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show will be there too. Let's celebrate the Christmas season together at the next Tailpipes and Tacos on December 18th. We'll see you then, weather permitting. Gulf Coast Auto Shield has moved to a more convenient location. Now you can visit John Gray and his staff of dedicated professionals at their new shop on the South Sam Houston Parkway between Belford and Airport in Southwest Houston. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is the best at paint correction and ceramic coatings. Clear bras and custom wraps are specialties that only Gulf Coast Auto Shield installs with award-winning accuracy, and all their services come with a warranty. Lamborghini, Aston Martin, Porsche, and Ferrari owners depend on Gulf Coast Auto Shield for their specialty services, and you should too. The In-Wheel Time Corvette and Cutlass have both been massaged by Gulf Coast Auto Shield, so isn't it time your vehicle visit their new shop in Southwest Houston? Call John Gray today at 832-930-5655 or visit online at gcautoshield.com. That's gcautoshield.com. Paint, coatings, wraps, and more at gcautoshield.com. That's it for this podcast episode of the In Wheel Time Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us for our live show every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our InWheelTime.com website. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart Podcast, Podcast Addict, TuneIn, Pandora, and Amazon Music. Keep listening, and we'll see you soon.